Today we're going to talk about one of the most misunderstood specs in my experience, and that is authoritative. Whenever you see the spec authoritative, you can substitute it for trustworthy, self-assured, confident, commanding, or authentic. These are all synonyms for authoritative. If you haven't seen my video or I talk about the spec conversational, I'll link that video up here for you. You can check that out now or after this video is done. If you see the spec authoritative, it just means that you know what the hell you're talking about. Don't make it any more complicated than that, okay? You simply have more information than the people that you're talking to, which should be enough to just give you the creative freedom to just be yourself. Think of something you're good at, and you want to keep that in your mind at all times. If you see this spec authoritative, you need to talk about whatever it is you chose. So if I need to find myself in the frame of mind to be authoritative, I'm going to default as if I'm talking about voiceover. I'm not going to worry about who we're talking to, where we are. We can cover that later. This is simply like a guide to just get you in the mood to do some authoritative reads. Now, like conversational, authoritative also can be adjusted up or down by changing certain things. So let's talk about some of the things you can do right now to make yourself sound more or less authoritative. And if you're getting value from this video, guys, consider subscribing to the channel because it really helps me notice your support. In all voiceover, whether it's commercial, animation, video game, corporate narration, it doesn't matter. Movement matters. How you move your body, what posture you're in, are you sitting, are you standing, all of these will make a difference in your reads. Sitting versus standing. If you need to channel more energy, of course you're going to stand. But even if you don't need to channel more energy, always be aware that if you're standing, you're going to have an undertone of energy and drive in the words that you're saying. Versus if you're sitting down like I am right now, it tends to relax you. And while I'm sitting, my reads tend to be a bit more grounded and less driven than if I was standing. So keep that in mind. In conversational, or if you're trying to be friendly, we always put our hands up like this. All right, you'll see me talking like this in my videos, or facing my palms towards you. This is a sign of basically I'm being open to you. I'm not trying to hide anything from you, or I'm basically being vulnerable. In authoritative reads, we tend to use the hands down more, especially when we're trying I did it right now, especially when we're trying to drive points home. Hands down helps you to emphasize and adds a bit of power behind what you're saying and an intensity behind what you're saying. Also, eye contact. I'm talking to a camera, which is you, but if you're in the booth and you're not recording in a camera, you have to find something to fixate on. It could be the script, but it would be better if you could look off of the script so you're not so much engulfed into the words. You can just find something. If you have a picture of somebody in your booth, that's great. If you have just a point on the wall that you focus on, that's great. The reason why I say that is because when we're in real life talking to somebody, if I'm trying to be authoritative towards my daughter and give her some life lessons, I'm going to be maintaining a lot of eye contact. And if you imagine if you're giving a speech or watching a TED Talk, the person giving the TED Talk is scanning the audience, looking eye to eye. They're looking at eyes because that adds to the authoritativeness of the reads or of what they're saying. Voiceover is no different. If I fixate on this camera right now, I automatically settle and I feel like I am being authoritative. Versus if I start looking around like this and trying to think about what I want to say, I even start having more upspeak if I start looking around like this. Like naturally, that's what happens. Keeping a fixated eye gaze on something can help you turn the dial more authoritative, and if you want to turn it down, shift your eyes a bit more. Also, positioning on your chair if you're sitting, leaning forward helps you drive a point home, okay? Just like your hands going down like this helps you drive a point home, leaning forward can add intensity and intention in what you're saying. So if I want to really make sure you understand what I'm saying, I will lean in towards the camera like this. Or if I'm trying to do a voiceover, I will lean in to wherever I think I'm talking to, and let that be the driving intensity, right? If you lean back, you find yourself being a bit more conversational and relaxed and open and vulnerable. And leaning forward, you tend to be a bit more powerful and authoritative. On the leaning forward, there's a difference between leaning forward and hunching over. Hunching over is going to make you feel and sound less authoritative. Next, eyebrows, facial expressions. Furrowed brows tend to add intensity. Okay, I'm doing it right now, I'm adding intensity, but I can also raise it up like this, and subconsciously or unconsciously, my voice will brighten if I raise my eyebrows, right? But if I lower my eyebrows and I really fixate, then I can add a bit of drive and power and just an underlying sense of energy and authoritativeness in what I'm saying. What about vocal characteristics of being authoritative? Obviously, upspeak versus downspeak. I have a tendency to do a lot of upspeak. I tend to talk up like this, and I go up like that, and my voice goes up. Sometimes I have to make a conscious effort to land down. Also, the settled voice. You can soften or turn down the knob of authoritativeness by sitting and settling into what you're saying like this. It doesn't necessarily lose its meaning or it's authority, but it could make it sound a bit more conversational and warm. Authoritative doesn't mean that you aren't a human being. No matter what we're doing here, you will always be yourself. You need to be yourself. If you're not being yourself, you're doing it wrong. Sometimes you'll see what seems to be conflicting specs: authoritative, conversational, and friendly. And you're like, well, damn, what do I do with that? Think about it. If you're with your homeboys or with your friends and maybe you found this new restaurant and you're taking them there and you're trying to tell them about the menu because you're the regular there, they know you by first name basis, your friend is the first time there, you're giving authoritativeness right there. Hey man, you got to try this. This right here, I had that, man, it was so good. Chef's kiss, right? All of that is still authoritative because why? You have more information than the other person. That means that you can be conversational and authoritative at the same time. Don't think that these are mutually exclusive from each other, okay? I know I just threw a lot at you, but it's really helpful to understand how your body helps turn that dial up or down. So the first script we're going to look at is a commercial script. It's from the California Office of Traffic Safety. I actually booked this job back in 2022, I think it was. The direction that they gave was warm, friendly, and authoritative. During the session, however, they asked me to be matter-of-fact. Being matter-of-fact right here in the first, I say half, but really it's the first 4 sentences. If you look at the story, we are human, we make mistakes, we don't see the red light, that family, but we can do better, be alert and slow the fast down. These last 2 sentences here, we know that these last 2 sentences are a call to action, right? Hey, this is what's happening, but we can do this instead. That's when the emotion should come out. And so we need to maintain, I don't want to say no emotion, basically matter of fact. Now, before we go into the script, I want you to pause the video here, and I want you to take a moment to maybe record 2 or 3 takes into your phone or your audio software if you have it open to see if you've learned anything or improved. I'm going to give 2 reads, see if you can pick which read had the matter of fact and which one didn't. We are human. We make mistakes. We don't see that red light. That family. We are human. We make mistakes. We don't see that red light. That family. If you guessed the first one was the matter of fact, great job. All I did was just remove all emotion from my face. We are human. We are human. I'm just taking eyebrows off. We are human. We are human. Just that simple eyebrow thing can make it sound more matter of fact. It also turns the dial up for being authoritative. Also, if I were to kind of slouch back, we are human. We are human. You may not be able to hear a difference, but you can feel a quiet intensity if you really close your eyes and just listen. There's an intensity there. 2 key points to pay attention here. Don't blitz through that first sentence. That's a rookie mistake. I believe this was a 30-second commercial. Let the words settle. If you go too fast, it takes away some of that authoritativeness. But if you let your words just land and just resonate with the listener, it actually makes you sound more authoritative. So compare these 2. We are human. We make mistakes. Versus, we are human. We make mistakes. Now, on these last 2 lines, this is a call to action. You have this, and now you're saying, hey, this is what we used to do or what we do now. Here's what we should do instead. Which means this is where our warm and friendly comes in. All right, until now, we've only been authoritative because we've been matter of fact. But now we're adding the emotion in, and they gave us the emotions they want. You can be warm and friendly while being authoritative. Before we move on to the corporate narration, let me give you guys 3 different reads of this script, and I'm going to give you different levels of authoritativeness. And hopefully you guys can notice the difference. We are human. We make mistakes. We don't see that red light. That family. But we can do better. Be alert and slow the fast down. We are human. We make mistakes. We don't see that red light. That family. But we can do better. Be alert and slow the fast down. We are human. We make mistakes. We don't see that red light. That family. But we can do better. Be alert and slow the fast down. Let's move on to the corporate narration. What I want you to notice is if you look at the specs, you don't see the word authoritative at all. It says approachable, conversational, and authentic. Well, how do you know you're supposed to be authoritative? It's a corporate narration. It's almost always authoritative. You're speaking on the behalf of the company. You're the spokesperson. In this case, approachable, conversational, authentic. That means we're not turning it up, we're turning it down. We're being less authoritative while still maintaining our authority. What I'd like you to do is pause the video, give yourself 2 reads, and see what you do with it, and then we'll come back and do it together. All right, let me give you 2 reads, see if you can notice the difference in the 2 reads. Man, it's 2025. Customers are looking for like customized service, Like the old way was everybody gets a one-size-fits-all kind of situation, right? And when you get the product, you're like, this isn't really, I don't need this feature. I don't need that feature. I wish I had that feature, but I don't have it. This is kind of like the old way of doing things. But this is 2025. Your business is one of a kind. Your IT solution should be no different. For some, it's all about the convenience of a plug-and-play PC out of the box. Others want ironclad security services. And for most, it's all about configuring their devices to exact specifications. So what do you do with all that information? Like, how do you get the customer what they really want? Introducing HP Services, IT tailor-made exclusively for your business. See, with HP, you won't find a one-size-fits-all approach. What's going on? Still dealing with that server issue. See, I told you about that. I don't know why you didn't listen to me the first time, man. Well, what I'm trying to get you to understand is your business is one of a kind, all right? Your IT solution should be no different. Sure, for some, it's all about the convenience of a plug-and-play PC out of the box. Others want ironclad security services. And for most, it's all about configuring their devices to exact specifications. But for you, I know what you want, man. You want the ironclad security services, right? Introducing HP Services, IT tailor-made exclusively for your business. Why? With HP, you won't find a one-size-fits-all approach. Now, I added some stuff in both reads. I don't know if you picked them up or not, but I hope that at least you could understand that the first read was more conversational and approachable than the second read. The second read was a bit more like in your face, almost, I don't want to say criticizing. I was trying to be commanding and pointing out an error or a mistake, and here's the solution, as opposed to the first read where I said, hey, this is what people do, and this is how it could be better. Let's highlight a couple of things I did in the first read. In the first read, I used a bit more conversational posture. Your business is one of a kind. Your IT solution should be no different. For some, my hands are open, right? For some, it's all about the convenience, open hands. Others want ironclad security services. This is a serious sentence, so my hands are down, but they're not completely down. They're kind of like halfway, right? And then for introducing HP Services, I introduced it very cool-like. Like, hey man, I'm your friend. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to show you a solution. Introducing HP Services. Versus the second read where I was like, introducing HP Services. Also in that second read, I also used less upward intonation. Your business is one of a kind. Your IT solution, I pointed, your IT solution should be no different. I said, for some, it's all about the convenience of a plug-and-play PC out of the box. In my mind, I was saying that's for losers. In my mind. This is my point of view. We'll talk about point of views in another video. But my point of view is like, that's for children. And that's why I threw it away. If you look at my hands when I did it, for some, it's all about the convenience of a plug. I threw it away. But here's what you need. Others want ironclad security services like you, right? I'm highlighting that because I know I'm trying to be more authoritative. When I was doing the first read with HP, you won't find a one-size-fits-all approach. Like, come on, dude. Really? Why would we have that? That vibe, that conversational, really approachable, relatable human vibe versus the second one, which is still human. But I was like, with HP, you won't find and I air quoted it to add more emphasis to it. And I even bounced my body. So you won't find a one-size-fits-all approach. Like that's for children. Poor people play with that. Again, this is point of view. All of these things contribute to the second read sounding more authoritative than the first one. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Play around with these 2 scripts and then try to find some scripts. Again, I'll leave the link in the description where you can learn how to find any script you want to find for commercial or corporate narration and practice this. Being authoritative is one of those specs that can be scary at the beginning, but once you master it, understand you're simply the person who has more information. Just know, guys, I am not a voiceover coach. I'm just sharing my point of view as a voice actor who's been doing this for a while and thought I would make content that I didn't have when I first got started.